Hey, I'm Betty.
And I'm Mari.
And you're listening to
The Good,
The Bad,
and the Bougie.
Hello.
Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of
The Good, the Bad,
and the Bougie. You might notice a special guest here, our first guest of our series. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Alisha.
Hello, my name is Alisha. How are you guys?
Doing well,
We
doing
are.
well.
Yeah.
Looking cute.
Thank you.
You cute too over there beaming.
Yes.
Glowing.
It's the Atlanta glow.
Yes,
we are in
exactly.
Atlanta,
Is
guys. It is.
Or is it sweat?
This is a wonderful city.
Because I'm sweating.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
It's the glow.
It's the
Hey,
Atlanta
we'll
glow.
go with glow. Because I'm over here miserable.
I don't know why. We look nice and peachy over
Hello.
here.
No, we cute, but shit. Y'all know
And are all black.
I'll be
I
having
know.
a little young
Dress code.
Destiny's Kids.
Okay. Although I will say, I almost, when I was changing a few minutes ago, I almost put that dress on that I'm wearing for later because I was like, oh my God, I don't have options.
Is it black?
You know, no.
Oh.
It's orange.
She was trying to
It's like a
be-
red orange.
Oh, you trying to be different?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I wasn't purposely trying to be different. It was just, due to the setup of the previous top.
Okay.
I
The
was trying to be
delicacies of the
comfortable.
arrangement.
Right, but back to you though. Okay, Miss Alisha.
Yes.
You gave us your name, but like what else?
I'm new here. So my name is Alisha, and born and raised in Florida. And I'm
Where that man governs.
please.
The sanctimonious.
Please.
Okay.
So I would say that I am a creative. I am a producer, a filmmaker.
She's in the industry.
I'm
All
in
the
the
things. A
industry.
creative, yeah.
And I'm a PR girly. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. And I recently started a web series, and it's called Shit Black Girls Think, also known as SBGT.
SBGT.
Remember that. You're going to see it everywhere.
SBGT.
You
So yeah, that's a
are.
little bit about me.
Okay, period. All right. Well, we always like to do a little. I don't want to call it a game, but
It's like a icebreaker to start the episode. It's our segment called Bougie or Basic.
Period.
We're going to give you some options.
Okay.
And you let us know where you stand.
right.
Okay.
And then you can also justify why you stand there.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
But pick things that you gonna stand 10 toes down.
Because I'm going to ask you follow-up questions.
Oh, period. Not follow-up. I'm nervous.
Okay, so
Okay.
bougie or basic, passion project or corporate baddie?
I love the stability of being a corporate baddie.
Amen.
We
I
love
love direct
stability.
deposit.
We love every 2
Look,
weeks.
I love a bi-weekly paycheck.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stand 10 toes down in passion project. I'm going to stand 10 toes down in passion project. Or honestly, we can have both.
No,
No.
that's not how this
That's
segment
not how
works.
the game works.
I was gonna say yes.
I'm going to go with passion project.
Okay.
Okay.
Does the passion is worth more than the stability of every other Friday paycheck?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that going after your passions is more fruitful and beneficial for you mentally than, staying somewhere just for a check.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Even though we really love the check.
Yes. Yes. I like to shop. I like to vacation. I like that check.
But you pour into your passions enough, and the checks start
Once
rolling
it
in.
takes
But
off.
at that point, is it still a passion?
Yeah, I think. Well, money can't buy happiness. People
Can
say
it?
that. Well,
Whoever said
it depending.
money can't
I
solve your
was getting ready to
problems.
say some people. It goes both ways.
could buy me
I've never seen anybody
any day
upset
of the
on a
week.
jet ski, but in general,
'Cause
money
what's that-
doesn't buy
what's the
happiness.
quote? It's like, would you rather be crying in a what?
You were crying in a Nissan or crying in a Bentley or something like that?
Something like
the
that.
cars were wrong. Crying in a Honda or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But
I mean, but at least you have your dignity if you cry in a Honda.
I guess, but shit, give me them double R's, babe.
I just don't want to be crying. I don't want to be crying.
Right, can we hold the crying?
Okay, here we go.
I think for me though, I would say corporate baddie over passion project. Simply because, and y'all know, I love me a good passion project, okay? And I always have my hands, toes, and everything in everything. But at the end of the day, I'm going to always come back home. and that is to my corporate job.
Okay.
Okay. I respect that.
I'll say passion project because most
Damn,
of...
I feel like y'all ganging up
I
on me.
know. Well, I'll tell you why. Because I delve a lot in the world of community service, and doing things for people like brings me joy, and it makes me happy every day, more so than, just sitting at a desk and cranking out shows, which is what I used to do. So I'll say passion project because it's made me a lot happier. Like you remember how like down.
You hated your job.
Yeah, you remember how down I was when I was working that like 2 to 11 shift.
Alisha,
doing
I'd be
10
like,
p.m.
girl, let's go do such and such. She'd be
I'm
like,
now I need a rest. I need to catch up with my
can't.
sleep. I did not leave the house.
What the hell is wrong with you?
But
That's not good for the mental.
exactly.
It's
So
not.
this new turn that I've taken in my career has made me happy. That's my passion project.
I will say, before we move to the next one, does it have to do, though, with what you're doing, right? Like if you enjoy your 9 to 5, like I'd say for me, for the most part, like I enjoy my 9 to 5. And I feel like maybe if you're in a space where like you aren't necessarily enjoying your 9 to 5 work, maybe that's where
into a passion
well
project.
that too, like I just feel like there are ways to, like, for me the reason why I'm 10 toes down in corporate Baddie is because like I can supplement the parts of my corporate job that I am not happy with passion projects. So
But then you got to find a balance because, when you give all yourself to corporate,
And
then
don't.
you barely have anything left for your passion project.
Alisha, what I be saying, I'm gonna get mine and steal yours.
Okay.
But I think
So let me explain to you.
registered.
Let me explain to you what I mean by that. I won't go into the literal meaning from the conversation just because it puts me at risk for several things.
We have jobs. We have
Right.
jobs.
Okay. But what I mean by that is like, yeah, I'm gonna do what you need me to do, right? But I'm still going to steal time to do what I want to do.
Okay.
And maybe not steal time.
Because I'm like, it's your time, so you have to steal it, right?
Well, I'm talking about at work.
Oh, you take time at work to do...
Under the...
Cut it.
We're done.
Cut it.
Next.
No, I'm saying no. Let me justify because I think like it is to me. Okay, now everybody, you don't have to try this at home, right? Try this at your own risk. But I just feel like if you have a manager that also understands that you're passionate about things outside of work that are also in turn pushing you in your 9 to 5, because like the things that I'm passionate about outside of work 100% relate back to my 9 to 5.
Right.
So if I am completing my work on time or even ahead of time, yes, I'm going to open up my laptop and work on SBGT related stuff. Yeah. That's what I mean by I'm going to get mine.
You're reclaiming your time.
Period.
Okay,
Yeah,
Maxine.
Come on, Maxine. Speak on it. Okay.
Let's moving along. Okay. Situationship or relationship? I feel like it's an easy answer, but we go for it.
I'm screaming. You're like, why did you pause? Because I feel like it depends on the season of life that you are in.
Yeah.
But overall, I would say relationship. Like the stability and the security of a relationship for sure. Yes. That is me.
Girl, you know my answer. Relationship. I done been in too many situationships.
Yeah.
And they always just drain the life out of you.
I feel
will
that.
not enter into another situationship in my life.
Yeah.
I feel that. I feel that 100%. Wow, that was a heavy. I feel
Close
that.
to home.
It did. Because viewers and whatnot, things have changed in my life. But like, I would say situationships are convenient for like short-term gratification.
Yeah.
Or sometimes in some cases, short-term might mean 7 years, but nonetheless.
They belong.
Move at your own pace.
Yeah.
But I 100% do stand in that like relationship over situationship.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
man,
Yeah, we old. It's time to...
it's time.
Leave the
I won't
childish
say
things
it's time to
to the
settle down,
children.
'cause I'm not there yet.
I think it's
We don't have to settle
also-
down, but you can be in like... You can have stability.
Yeah, stability.
But stability in what way though?
Between like situationships are not stable.
They're not.
So I'm talking about like relationships.
When you say stability, though, are you saying like that? Almost to me sounds like settle down. And I'm not saying I'm out here shaking and moving.
I'm saying a stable partner, a reliable helpmate.
Yeah, and I think that's what
I love that word, helpmate.
Situationships lack.
Yes.
They lack, sometimes they can lack that communication that you need. You know, like if you can find another partner that can communicate with you effectively, I feel like, you know, situationships wouldn't get that bad of a rap, because like you said, sometimes it's just where you are, like what you need in that moment. But, yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. So last but not least, day ones or day twos?
Can I have a definition of day two?
So, of course, we know day ones are the people that you've been friends with for a very, very long time at this point.
Right.
But day twos, like for me and Mari, like Mari is a day one. Or I'm sorry,
We're
is a day twos.
Yeah.
Like
this is an adult friendship.
Yeah, we became friends in adulthood. And, you know, I feel like people are always like, oh, this is my day one, da-da-da, whoop-de-woo, and don't really count for those friendships that you've made in adulthood.
Yeah.
So, day ones or day two.
And we can never go both in this game.
No,
Never.
that's not how this game works.
I would say that's not how this works. So for me, I have to say day ones, although there are a lot of day twos that I've met in my adulthood. And I'm not the type of person that's like, no day twos, you know, like you mentioned, I'm not like only day ones, but my best friend Jamonte, we've been best friends since we were 14. And like, he truly is my day one. We've seen each other in so many different phases of life. And that relationship's just so special to me. So I have to go day ones, but I love my day twos. I love my day twos.
We love you too. I would say for me, I feel like I'm always the wild card. I feel like for me,
we gotta have one of those.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, I'm the problem child. It's me. I'm the problem.
It's the Leo. You have to stand alone, 10 toes down.
You know, and I like that.
Okay.
I think that's what it is. But for me, I would say my day twos. Simply because, like, for me, I went through periods of time, like, in, like, college, you know, where kind of rotated through friend groups because I wasn't necessarily the best picker of character.
Preach.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like those friendships fell through, but like, you know, the folks that I am friends with that are from my time at Bama, they kind of low key like came after like we finished, like, or we were like at the very like tail end of being there. And a lot of those folks are, they are my true like ride or dies.
Yeah.
Cause I think like for me, for anyone listening or watching us, we did an episode in season 1 that talked about, our friendships. I think it was called like, Are We Friends? Or something like that. Where Mari and I talked about, we had a day one, both of us, that, we fell out.
Through.
Okay. Fell out. And so with me having that experience and then coupled with the friends in college and then like the friends that I have like post grad and well into adulthood now, I feel like my day twos have been stronger and more honestly understanding of where I am in life. Like I feel like at this point, you know, going back to the whole relationship over situationship situation, like I desire 100% to be in a relationship, right? However, my day twos, they met me at a point in my life where I am so hungry for what I'm going after that is like kind of the only version they know of me.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so and they're supportive of that. Now, do y'all think I'm crazy? Sometimes
we all got a little crazy in us.
Okay, for everything that I have going on, absolutely. But y'all are supportive in a way that I don't feel like people that knew me prior to being in this point in my life. So
that's a good point.
Yeah.
I do think that sometimes you move into being closer with your day twos because your day ones won't let you grow past who they knew you were.
Yes.
Yeah.
They want to hold you back and they want to say, remember when? No,
Yeah.
I don't want to remember when. I want to move forward.
I want to move forward, which is why I value my day one so much, because we have given each other the space. And I know that that's rare to experience. But I think day twos are so essential. Like you said, they meet you where you are and they know who you want to be. They don't know who you were.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I will agree with Baddie.
Period, Pookie.
Okay, for once, I'm agree with Baddie.
For what? Don't do that. Don't do that to me.
When I think of day ones, I really think of my family. Because I have a very, very tight knit relationship with my family. Like we are thick as thieves. They are my friends, and I talk to them every single day. As far as like day one, like high school friendships and college friendships, I just feel like kind of what you said. Like I feel like I was a different person back then.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of character development over the last 3-4 years. I'm not the same girl I was when I was in undergrad. So because we're in different states and we're in different places, like they don't see a lot of like my transitional phase, and like they don't know where I am. So I just think like I don't even know if I would say they know me truly anymore.
Yeah.
So that's why I would say my day twos. Now that I'm an adult and I'm working and growing towards the person that I know that I want to be, they are walking in that with me, and they see me for who I am. So I feel, even though I have friends I have known since for like the last 10 years, and they know my life and they know my story. But like, I feel like, for example, for Baddie, I feel closer to Baddie because Baddie is walking with me in my everyday life, in my growth.
Yeah.
So I'll go with day twos.
Yeah.
Period.
And that's real on family. Family is day one for me too. I feel that.
Family over everything.
Yeah. Family over everything.
Agreed.
Sure.
Agreed. Okay, Miss Alicia, we're gonna flip
get,
it back to
bring
you.
it back. Yes.
So, just circling back to SBGT, I kind of want to touch on like the story of us and how we got here to this very moment and all the history that led to here.
Baddie and I's love story.
Yes, because apparently this Friday
this past weekend we got married.
We got married. This was our wedding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna let this your spot. Go ahead, tell
take
us
it away,
I'll
your POV. I'll fill in.
Yes, TikTok POV. So I'll start with like how I met Baddie. So met Baddie through a mutual friend. We instantly connected. We were giving very much Dunkin' Donuts in our outfit. Very much. She had on pink and I had on orange.
Okay.
We'll put a picture on the screen.
Yeah, it's also the brand colors for the podcast.
Yes.
Period.
So we were already linked in, So met Baddie there, and then we connected via socials. Also met Mari that weekend as well. And so
shout out to the vineyard.
Yes,
It was hot.
It was hot.
but the lighting.
All the tents was sweating.
So fast forward, I decided that I wanted to do this project, and I knew you guys had this podcast, so I actually reached out to Baddie. And I was like, hey, like, is there any way we could incorporate the podcast? Maybe like have you guys on the show or shout out the show. And Baddie was like, oh, okay. So you're making like a show. Because Baddie, you thought it originally was going to be a podcast. You thought that SBGT would be a podcast. And I was like, yeah.
Sounds like a good podcast
it
title.
Does. It does. And so
go ahead and reserve that handle.
Right. LLC. So she was like, oh, wait, like you're making a real show. And I was like, yeah. And so she was like, well, do you have anyone helping with marketing? I was like, well, I'm just kind of doing it myself. And she was like, we doing it now. We're doing it together.
I literally was like, that's not going to work for me. I can meet every Wednesday at 6.
Quite literally. I was literally in my grandma's parking lot talking to Baddie real quick. And she was like, by the end of the call, we had set up a meeting and we had like things on the calendar and we got started.
That's Baddie for you.
That's Baddie.
Corporate Baddie.
Literally. So like that is how Baddie and I like met through a mutual friend and then got connected even more through working on the podcast.
Right.
We met through a mutual friend and got connected even more working on the web series together. Anything I left out on our love story?
No. I think that was a pretty fair rendition.
Yes.
I think one thing to note, which, I mean, truth be told, I'm not the biggest into astrology, but I do think it helps in, like, you know, the nature of being human and wanting to box everything into something so that you can further understand a person. And so for context, I am a Leo through and through, okay? And Alisha is a Scorpio, okay? Which is crazy.
What's the match on that?
Well, it's crazy
Or the
because
compatibility?
a Leo woman, and I'm going to take this from like a Leo, like the like partnership standpoint. So a Leo woman and a Scorpio man, that don't work. Okay. I've experienced it firsthand. Okay. It don't work. Okay. Okay? But
we both experienced it firsthand.
We did. You experienced a Leo man.
Yeah, and a Scorpio.
And you're being you being a Scorpio woman, but like being a Leo woman and a Scorpio woman, it was like just being able to pick up on some of the nuances and like behaviors of one another. Like for instance, yesterday in the car, when we were headed to FedEx, there was a point in time, like, and mind you, Alisha be talking, okay? So we're on the way to FedEx, and I'm trying to like kind of low key have a conversation, but not really. But Alisha just kind of, she was just literally. So in my head, I'm like, yeah, she worried about the time. Oh. She worried about getting back to the hotel. She worried about getting ready. She worried about the whole night. So I was like, let me just shut up and let the music do the talking. Okay. And then we got into FedEx, and we trying to figure out the printing situation and cut Alisha over there. I'm like, you know what, let me just, because I understand.
I just had to get into it.
I said, I hear you, even though you're not saying nothing.
We hear each other.
And so I think it's just been a balancing type of relationship, but also a very, like, exhilarating, energizing type of relationship. Because we've had conversations where we had to hop on a phone call at, like, 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning before work. And you know me, I'm a morning person. I'd be like, hey, girl, what's up?
She texted me at 6 o'clock this morning, knowing I was running the streets.
Baddie will send you text messages at 4 a.m. Yeah. Okay? Like, where are you going?
She sent me Beyonce tickets at 4 o'clock in the morning. She was like, I'm a Baddie. And I was just like, okay.
I'll be up. It's early bird catches the worm.
I'm like, man, catch me at 9.
Let's get going. And so being on those calls and like, I'm chipper, I'm ready, and like it's as if I just ingested caffeine and I haven't. That's just my natural get up in the morning.
That's you.
Thank you. I feel seen. And whereas Alisha, she just
I'm kind.
Good morning.
Hello.
Are you not a morning person?
I will not say that I'm not a morning person. I'm not a morning talking person.
Okay.
Like, I'm a morning person with myself. And so if we need to have a conversation that happens before 8:30, we're just having strictly...
It be matter of fact.
Strictly headlines.
She literally goes right down the agenda.
Yes, no.
Right down the agenda.
Anything else you want to add?
But I'll give you, like, good morning. How's your morning starting off? Let's get into it.
Literally. You know? It'd be matter of fact, let's go straight down this notion and get through all of this.
Catch me at 1. Hey, girl. How you doing?
I'm keke.
Yes. What about
and
you?
I'd be like, well, dang, I kind of wanted to talk because ain't nobody else up. Like,
I get warmed up. You know, I get warmed up in the morning for sure.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay.
But no, I agree to your point. I think that Baddie and I were kind of talking about it with our Leo, Scorpio, you know, combo and just the way that we work together. Another thing is also kind of, you know, sometimes when you're working with friends, you have to be careful because we're working on business, you know, like we're talking real business. And so sometimes when Baddie and I speak with each other, we just need to get straight to the point. And I love that we don't take it personal if there's no like, hey, girl. Right. You know, it's just like, did you order the napkins? Or, you know, like, did you get this? Like, we get just straight to it. So I do appreciate like that dynamic in both of us that we like learn from working on the web series together for sure.
Yeah.
So yes. So this web series.
Yes.
Give us a synopsis. Tell us what it's about. Yes, what can viewers expect?
Yes. So Shit Black Girls Think, also known as SBGT, is a web series that's about 3 friends, Naomi, Willow, and Alexis. And if you notice, their names are NWA. I really wanted it to have like be NWA or TLC, something like that. So we went with NWA. And it follows these 3 friends as they're navigating their lives in Atlanta. I really wanted it to be in Atlanta. That was really special to me. And we can touch on that a little bit later. But so it follows Alexis in her corporate baddie space, Willow, who is the artist friend, and then Naomi, who's a friend that just moved to Atlanta.
Okay. Transplant.
Yes,
Yeah.
transplant. Shout out to the transplant.
Everybody moving to Atlanta.
Okay. Exactly. And I wanted to tell a story through the eyes of friendship. Because in my 20s, that has been my experience, you know? So, yeah, it follows them as they're navigating their friendship, as they're navigating career, relationships, situationships, and things like that. So, yeah, that's a little synopsis on SBGT.
So, where did this all come from? Like, I guess, like, at what point were you like, I want to make a web series, and then from there, how did you get to Shit Black Girls Think?
Yeah. So I would say I want to make a web series started probably about in 2019. I was working my corporate job. I was very unhappy.
Yeah.
And I was like, they didn't put me in this box, which was a cubicle.
You know what? Okay.
But I literally felt like I was being boxed in. And so I literally texted my friend, like, they didn't put me in this box. And I was like, I need to get out of the box. I feel like I have so many creative things that I want to do, and I can't do them within the four walls of this office. And so I was just like, I want to get back into acting. I have a background in theater. I did theater my entire life, basically, from elementary school on up. And I had friends that went off to school to be theater majors, and I kind of went the more structured route of, okay, I'm going to go to school for PR. And I love PR, and I love the storytelling aspect of it, but I was like, I'm missing something. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to get back into acting. I started taking acting classes here in Atlanta. And then after that, I was like, I actually kind of want to write a show. And that was the first time that I really felt that way. I want to say it came out of nowhere, but it really didn't.
It was deep
inside.
Yeah. So you talked a little bit about Issa Rae
Yeah.
and Quinta, who, you know, we all know and love. Abbott Elementary, Insecure, some of like the best shows on television. What about their journey was inspiring to you?
That's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good question. And I love that because what inspired me was that they took their career in their own hands. You know, especially as Black women in the film space, you can't really wait around for networks to believe in the work that you want to make and the work, you know, because sometimes we have to make it for ourselves. And I feel like that's exactly what they did. I know Issa talks a lot of times about the reason that she went with the awkward Black girl, because that was a true identity to her. She didn't feel like the baddie, you know, like she felt like the awkward girl. And that's what she wanted to see, so that's what she made. And that was really inspiring for me with Quinta and Issa. It was really, they wanted to see something, so they made something. And so it just kind of was something I continue to remind myself and continue to as I get a little bit of fear, as I get a little bit of doubt, like, you want to see it? Then make it. And you know, what can come from that is a lot.
I think what's beautiful about that is because we all have so many personal experiences, but we're all really the same.
Yes.
Because, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I related to Issa
Yes.
on the show, or Janine on Abbott Elementary. Like, just like with her relationship with Gregory, like the awkwardness of it. Like, and to
just
see
her being awkward,
us
like
in those
those
spaces
shared
of, like,
experiences that we have.
because you don't always have to, like you said, you don't always have to come in there looking like, you know, Beyonce. Like, these are real women telling real stories that millions of people are relating to on a regular basis.
Absolutely,
so I love that.
I agree. Yeah.
I feel that. There was a tweet that I actually saw this morning that was talking about just like the foundations of Black relationships, whether it be platonic or romantic. And someone said that the foundation of most Black relationships is trauma. But then when I was looking through some of the replies, someone said, no, like, first of all, as Black people, we shouldn't have to build relationships based off of our trauma bonds. That they, from their POV, they felt like the foundation of Black relationships is our shared experience. And the fact that, like, again, whether it be romantic or platonic, we can sit down and literally go through pretty much any moment in our Rolodex of thoughts and be like, wow, I've felt that exact same way. So yeah.
You know, when you get a lot of Black people in one space, you realize how alike
We
all of us really are.
Yeah. So many shared experiences between all of us, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so how much of this web series is based on your real experiences in life?
I would say, so twofold. I would say one, a lot is based on my real experiences in life, and then also my friends.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tiana mentioned it last night at the premiere, but a lot of times when we're in the writer's room, like we take from experiences that our friends have had and like stories that they share with us. So sorry, friends, but sometimes we be using y'all. We be using y'all life.
Got it.
Look, yeah. Literally, like Tiana and I have a shared notes of like when we obviously don't like put people's business, but like funny things that happen and just everyday life, we kind of just like pull from that. So for example, in episode 2, there is a moment with the Uber driver where the girls are rapping Plan B and they're like excited, they're lit, they're about to go out, and that was an experience that I had with Baddie.
Yes. Oh my God, that's crazy. Okay. Because you know every word to Plan B. I've been rapping that song with you in the car for a while.
Stop. Yes, that was our Charlotte experience. Yes.
I love that.
So, yeah, like Baddie and I had known each other for about 2 hours.
Literally.
And we got into an Uber.
You know, we love to act up in the back of an Uber.
We love to act up.
Okay.
And we asked him to play Plan B.
We did.
And I was rapping it, and Baddie was like, yes, what? Huh? Exactly.
Wow, that's great.
Yes.
I love that.
Y'all.
That's your nugget for today. Oh, that just warmed her heart.
Okay.
Yes, I thought I told you that.
No.
I can't believe I never told you that. Yes. Like I was like, literally after I left Charlotte, I put that in my notes. I was like, Plan B moment with Baddie.
Yes.
And then SBGT wasn't even thought of then, which is crazy. So then when it came time to write and we were brain dumping, I was like, we have to put that scene in there like Baddie and I had in the Uber driver, with the Uber driver.
It was ordained from
There you go. There you go.
From the start. So yeah, I would say I pull from my real life. I pull from my friends' lives. You know, I wanted to feel like a shared experience. You know, so many times we scroll on TikTok and we're like, we're all living the same life.
Yeah.
Because people share like literally what you're thinking. So I definitely don't just pull from me because I want to showcase different experiences and different lenses of the experience of a Black woman in life. Yeah.
So what do you hope people walk away from, or I'm sorry, what do you hope people walk away with when they're done watching this season?
That's a good question. I would say I hope that, one, people walk away with the fact that you can take opportunities in your own hands and make them for yourself. Because that's exactly what everyone, not just myself, but everyone that was involved in this series did. Baddie knows, but a lot of the people that were on our crew, this was their first time doing something like this. Our director, our DP, even our EP, to the extent of him like managing us in the way that...
Shout out to Sean.
Shout out to Sean. Sean's super talented, and this was obviously not Sean's first web series, but it was his first one in the sense of how he was guiding, you know, another creative. And so there were so many people on this web series that this was their first. So I hope that people take away from the people that were behind the scenes and like how we got to this point. But I will also say, like, I just hope that it is a safe space to share your thoughts. We always, our little tagline is something from the group chat. So I hope that like SBGT links are sent in the group chat and it starts discussions and it just feels like an organic conversation with your homegirls. Like I really hope that that's like the biggest takeaway, to walk in your truth, to speak your truth, and to share what you think, not just in the group chat, but you know, to everyone.
So what kind of advice would you give to our listeners who are watching and see how you've brought this from an idea and a notes in your phone to fruition? And a lot of people, I can speak for, us, we had been sitting on the podcast idea for almost a year before we finally were like,
and you did
we just have to do it. We would have to jump off the cliff. We just got to do it.
We did.
What advice would you give to young creatives who are sitting on these ideas and they just don't know what the first step might be?
Yeah, I would honestly say to really give yourself permission first. I had to give myself permission. I was so stuck in like, oh, I work in PR and that is what I do. I had to give myself permission and say, no, actually, I'm a storyteller. Like, give yourself the permission to walk into this journey that you want to go in. Because a lot of times we need confirmation, but the first confirmation comes from yourself. You know, like, even my acting coach, she would also say, like, you're not an aspiring actress, you're an actress. You know, you have to speak it.
Okay. Yeah, I like
so
that.
I would say give yourself permission to walk into what you want to walk into. You like, God will give you the skills and the abilities that you need as you continue to go, but you have the idea, so walk into that.
Yeah, I know, right?
And then something Diasha said last night on the panel is to start talking about it to other people.
Oh, she sure did.
She sure did.
That was a word for me.
That was a word. Because, you know, especially as a Scorpio, I like to move in silence.
Yes. She said, I move loudly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I said, come on, little Elaine Welteroth.
Okay.
Period. And that is so true, though. Like, even for me, sometimes I'm like, I don't necessarily have to move in silence, but I'm just like, okay, I'm going to keep
it
this
to your
right
chest.
here.
Yeah.
Because you get, like, you don't know people's intentions.
Yeah.
But, you know, once you lock in on some good people, start speaking your idea out. You really don't know. If I wouldn't have called Baddie, all the episodes weren't even written yet, and I'm calling Baddie like, hey, I'm doing a web series. Like, I would have not had my lead marketing on this web series, you know? Like, so it's just like, I think that's also important. Give yourself permission and start speaking it. Like, speak it out. You never know, like, who you're going to connect with, who wants to help you, and what could come from that, for sure.
Going back to that, we just had that moment.
Yeah.
Like, in the lobby.
Yes.
Because I was telling you, I was like, well, this is what I'm doing now, and, you know, but ultimately my dream would be to do this. And you were like, oh, I got a friend who does this.
Yes,
and I was
exactly.
like, I literally, like, when I just said it, I was just talking. Like, I didn't know it was going to lead to anything.
Exactly.
So, but
you never know, like, once you
Speak
open your
about
mouth.
it.
Yeah, talk about it. You never, because a friend of a friend of a friend, okay?
Yeah,
Everybody
okay.
always has that. And then
Because I've even had that situation with kind of like where I work now. I wanted to work at this very specific company. And I had told my guy friend at the time. And he was like, call my cousin. Call her. Have a conversation with her. See how far she can help push you. And we went that route. We had very great conversations, and, like, of course, always thankful that he, like, put me on to her. But, like, it ultimately didn't work out in that route. But then I was on another interview, and I said, well, who's the client? And she told me the client, and I said, in my head, I said, God, is that you? Because you said come hell or high water, I'm getting in there somehow.
hello.
So I've definitely had that exact same experience. So, Alisha, last night, you mentioned at the premiere that the show was your love letter to Atlanta.
Yes.
What is your connection to the city?
this beautiful city.
This beautiful city. I love
Scamming
Atlanta.
City.
Don't hate on Atlanta, girl. I will come for you.
I'm from Detroit.
do
Don't
it.
come for me.
Oh, Detroit versus everybody?
Everybody.
But yes, this show definitely is a love letter to Atlanta and to who Alisha was when she first moved to Atlanta. I moved to Atlanta 30 days after graduating college.
Ooh, that's
I had
bold.
never been here. My first time here was signing the lease to my apartment.
You
You
did
know
that.
what? I did.
Y'all so alike.
I was like, let's go. Okay. And I didn't know anything. I didn't know anyone. And I was really taking a leap of faith. Like about 6 months after I moved here, some of my college friends started to move here, which also gives the vibe of SBGT for me. And so that's why I was like, we have to film in Atlanta. Like, I don't live here anymore, but I was like, we have to film in Atlanta. We have to come here, and people have to see the beautiful connections that you can build while you're here, and also the wild experiences that you will have when you're in Atlanta, Georgia, okay? And so just like as a transplant of the city, and the city has given me so much love, it's given me so much community, I was like, this is the love letter that I have to give to Atlanta, and to who I was when I moved here, who it helped me to become, the friendships I made while I was here. But also, I also know I was a transplant, so I brought in the creatives on my crew that are from here and that can also give an authentic viewpoint and experience of what it's like growing up here. You know, certain things that I just didn't know, certain streets I didn't know. I wanted that to be a part of it as well.
One thing I noticed when we talked about it, we did the Q&A after we watched the first episode, was the murals.
Yes.
And it was a nod to Insecure. I was like, I can see the inspo. But the murals in Atlanta, like you went and you guys went out and saw the ones that people who were from Atlanta would know, and not you didn't just go to Turner Field, you didn't go see the varsity in the back, like you went and you like really got down to like the true heart of Atlanta.
Yeah, absolutely. It was very important to do that for sure.
Outside of the skimming, I love that.
Don't do Atlanta.
I mean, you know, Detroit got their fair share of problems too.
They really do. we won't get into it.
They really
do. Mara, you want to take this last one before you wrap up?
So, an important part of the success of the show is the chemistry with the cast and the crew. Talk a little bit about your relationship with them and the filming process. Like, how long did you guys film? Was everything peachy? Like, how did it go?
No, we got into it. I'm just
we caught on site.
So it was definitely an experience for sure, in the sense that we filmed 7 episodes in 5 days.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, y'all was working.
Yeah, we were working.
And you know I have a bedtime.
Yeah.
Betty got her naps in when she
I bet she did.
And did.
Yep.
Okay, JoJo's apartment floor.
I know my
real
friend.
Comfortable.
Real comfortable. So it was a tight production schedule, as I'm sure that you know. It was a tight production schedule, and I will honestly say we were so blessed in the fact that we all got along so well.
We did.
Keela said last night, like, some of us hadn't met in person yet. It was just over Zoom. But when we got together for the first night to shoot, it felt like a family reunion. Like, it was just so much fun, and I think it's because we were so like-minded. And I think that was just a situation of speaking out what you want to do and then you receiving what you need to do it, honestly. And I think also communication, like, that is so important when you're working with people, over-communicating, and I think that we all did that very well also. But it was so much fun. Like, even though we were exhausted, so exhausted, I was like, I could do this again next week. You know, like, it was
crazy. Next week. I definitely I had initially I wasn't going to be present at filming, but I rearranged and I was like, nah, I feel like I need to be there. Like, everyone's there but me. That's awkward. But like, I know for me, something that people always tell me, and this relates back, I'm not just being a Leo stealing the spotlight. Something that people always tell me is that they're like, wow, Baddie, like, you're so polished, you're so buttoned up, and it's, you know, all these things. And it's like, yes, there is a side of me that is 100% that girl, right? But to know me is to know that I'm a goofy. I am very, very goofy.
She's a silly girl.
I'm a very silly girl. And walking into being on set with everyone, it's like, I was like, okay, subconsciously, do I need to be this polished, I have my shit together girl, or can I actually really just take my bra off and be comfortable? And I just took it off and was comfortable. Theoretically. Okay?
Yeah,
I wasn't
course,
walking around with, you know, diddy swinging, you know, that's kind of awkward. But yeah, because like, I think one of my favorite moments was when, this is like tail end of filming, like the last like day or so that we're all together. We're back at Sean's old job. Yeah. And I found a basketball. Okay. I wasn't needed in the moment. So I was just trying to, it wasn't. I wasn't needed in the moment, and I found a basketball on somebody's desk, and I had on a dress too, mind you. I just started crossing, like dribbling.
Successfully?
Like, that's up for debate.
Yeah, because I'm going to say, girl, you don't play basketball.
We have video footage. I'll show you.
We do. Okay. And Sean, and like, it's on video. Sean let out the loudest yelp I feel like I've ever heard. And like, it was just like cut. And everyone was just like laughing. And I'm just like, oh shoot, Betty. Like,
you did it again.
Right. And it's like, but that's me. Like, I'm a random, sporadic goofy person, and coming on set and being able to like actually just live in it, it was very refreshing, because there are moments a lot of the time, especially being a Black woman, you have to be so like
put together.
Yeah.
You have to be on your P's and Q's.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't want to be on my P's and Q's. I want to be on my I's and R's, okay? Like,
yes, I's and R's. No, that makes me so happy to hear you say that as well, because it's just, this is the first set that I've ever curated, you know? So I was so nervous going into it. And so I genuinely felt that way. So it's good to hear that you felt that way too.
yeah, I did. Well, to wrap up, you talked about Issa Rae and Quinta Brunson being a big inspo for you.
Yeah.
Seeing the success they have now, what is your dream for this project?
To be Issa Rae and Quinta Brunson.
I know, that's right.
Period. And to be the marketing behind it.
Honestly, it's for the next girl, you know, to see me doing something like this and for her to say, period, I want to do that too, because that's what they did for me. And that's what they continue to do for me. This is like only the beginning. You know, people say like, I'm so proud of you, Alisha. I'm like, I ain't even did nothing yet.
Right.
You know?
I'm just getting started for real.
Right. But I had a girl reach out to me on LinkedIn because she saw that I was working on the web series, and she was like, can you just like talk with me and like help me figure out how I can get started? And I was like, girl, I don't know if I know anything, but like, period, like let's try. Yeah. And that felt really good, because I just want there to be a community of people telling their stories. We're all storytellers in our own way, and we get to choose how we want to tell that story. And so I hope that I just get to connect with more creatives and help them make more projects, you know, continue to make projects that are passionate to me. And then, you know, also, you know, me, Issa and Quinta. That's really nice.
They're gonna be your homegirls one day. You just wait.
That would be so amazing. Like, next steps would definitely be to, like, you know, get a network show and to make a short film. I've never done that. So honestly, it's like my brain is racking on all that I can do in this space, and it's truly only the beginning for the success of all the things.
Love that.
Yes.
Yes, it is the beginning. We have much more to see. So, as people are listening or watching, they're going to want to know where to find you, where to find the show. They're going to want to know all the things. So tell us, where can we watch you in socials?
Yes, I got you. So you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Shit Black Girls Think. And the episodes will be airing on TikTok. And the first episode airs on October 27th, Halloween weekend.
Ooh, period.
Yes. So yeah, I'm so excited. So Shit Black Girls Think across all socials is where you can find us.
Okay.
Awesome. All right.
Our first guest.
Thank
you so much, Alisha.
so
You
honored.
did phenomenally.
Thank you.
You did.
We're so glad to have you. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, of
Yes.
course. Thank you for having me. I'll be back.
And will.
Yes, we got the season 2 is right around the corner.
Okay.
Didn't you
Period.
know?
Right. Look, we already
Yes.
Look, she already stealing stories from my life for next
Right?
season.
Yes, go ahead, give her some more material. Get the notepad out.
Right.
Thank you guys so
sorry.
much for having me.
Of
All right.
course.
Yes.
And to our listeners and viewers,
Yes.
this has been another episode
of The
Good,
Good,
the
the Bad, and the Bougie. Also, a special shout out to Digo Creative Studios for letting us use this space for this
Beautiful.
episode.
Honestly, very beautiful.
Don't you
if
see
you
this?
are in
Look at the view.
Atlanta,
Welcome to Atlanta.
if you are in the Atlanta area, 10 out of 10, highly recommend. This video is not sponsored, or this little shout out is not sponsored at all.
It was just that amazing.
It really was.
We had to
It was.
shout out our people.
Yeah. We do. Our people.
Black-owned businesses.
Yes.
Support us. Anyway, catch us every Wednesday on YouTube,
Spotify,
and Apple
Apple
Podcasts.
Podcasts.